What's going on, guys? My name is Jake. That's Jesus. This is your Body Comp
Guys,
Prescription, where we help you navigate through all things health and fitness. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at bodycomprx. Just a reminder that we're not doctors or nutritionists, so keep that in mind as we start the conversation. Happy New Year, everybody! Hope you all had a safe and fun New Year. Jesus, what are we talking about today?
so funny you mentioned New Year's. I think a great episode 1 topic would be common resolutions, right? So we actually looked at, was it LA Times?
Time Magazine.
Time Magazine. We look at their common resolutions and also their most commonly broken resolutions. And funny enough, the most common ones are losing weight and getting fit, eating healthier and dieting, and drinking less.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be a great idea to talk about these, see how do we feel about these resolutions and how can we be more successful with these resolutions. I think a lot of times people either find a reason to quit, or all of a sudden come February, no one's even talking about these things.
Yeah,
So,
kind of life happens and they just forget about what they set out to do.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you want to get us started? Maybe talking about the first two: losing weight, getting fit, eating healthier, and dieting.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, those are. I mean, I don't think it's really a surprise that those things are up at the top of the list of one resolutions, but also broken resolutions. Honestly, I think these are super noble things to try and shoot for, because I think trying to better yourself is always a good thing to try and aim for. Losing weight, getting fit, it's one of the best things you could do for yourself. So I respect it. The same thing with eating healthier and dieting. I think everyone can admit that they need to do that a little bit better, even myself sometimes. So, I completely get that. But yeah, I think those things are kind of loaded sometimes. We all have these aspirations, but what we kind of forget sometimes is that we throw out what's already present in our life, what our normal routine is and what would be easy for us, and whether it would be realistic or not on how to achieve it. So yeah, I think they're very good things to shoot for, but sometimes I think people may prematurely kind of jump into them as far as what they might be able to do to be more successful at keeping those resolutions.
I want to say something though. I think if you already are making the effort to have these be part of your resolutions, that's a big giant step, and I think you should give yourself a pat on the back. I think there's, like Jake said, it's probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. So, it's nothing to be ashamed for. It's anything you should be proud. It should be a big moment, something you should celebrate yourself. But yeah, I think just it's not easy. That's why I say you should, it's a big step. It's a big improvement towards your yourself. And I think that if you're willing to, do what it takes, I think there's going to be really great outcomes. And I think you'll find yourself happier and even feeling a lot better at the end of the day.
Yeah, the intentions are good, I would say, for sure, with these.
Yeah. There's nothing bad to come out of this, in my opinion. If anything, you just become you look better, you feel better.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that the intentions are right, and you're ultimately trying to do something better for yourself. So, yeah, I would say that those are good things to shoot for. Why do you think some of these are broken? Specifically maybe the losing weight, eating healthier kind of deal. Why do you think those get broken?
So I think there's many factors. Of course, there's also life that comes at you, and everyone and anybody has their own personal reasons why these resolutions may have been broken. But I think one of the most common reasons is I'd like to say their relationship with food. I think this comes down to come New Year's and day, and you want to start a new diet for yourself, and you say you're doing keto, you say you're doing intermittent fasting, you're becoming vegan or vegetarian, and there's a quick sudden change in your lifestyle, and come day 2, day 3, or week 1, you're fully into it, and then you realize, damn, I hate what I'm eating. This is miserable. Is this really what it takes? Because I hate it, right?
Yeah.
Your relationship with food right there at that moment becomes tarnished. It's no longer fun. It's, you found yourself miserable. You're not liking it. You're basically doing it because, who knows, maybe you have someone holding you accountable, or you're trying to hold yourself accountable, and you really want to make
Yeah.
this change. But now, because you're miserable, like, it's no longer fun. I think that's like one of the main reasons why people do it. And then, and that's kind of, I think that's kind of a part of the game. You kind of try one thing out. You're like, what is keto like? Try it out for
Yeah.
like a week, and you find out it's not it's not for you, because, not everyone could do that kind of dieting.
I see.
I know
Yeah.
myself, I can't, I had a hard time doing keto when I tried it once. Not for everyone. And I think being consistent is like the second reason. Um, what the misconception out there is that if you, let's say you did 2 weeks and you're doing perfect,
Hmm.
but it's your best friend's birthday, it's your mom's birthday, it's some sort of social gathering,
Like
and
an
you went
event or
out,
something.
yeah, you went out on Friday, Saturday, right, and you ate terribly, you were out drinking all night, and then you're like, well, there goes those 2 weeks of, you know, of
Hard
getting
work or
better,
whatever.
hard work, and then you're thinking like, well, there's no point of starting again on Monday, because, I'm starting back to zero. And, I think the misconception is that, no, like, if anything, like, that's good. You good, you went out, good, you did that. And I think come back Monday morning, you just start where you left off. You know,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. I
consistency
think.
is big key.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake in my eyes is that a lot of people try and make too drastic of a change right from day one. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like, you know, again, applause to everyone who wants to try and do these things. If you're, working a full-time job and you have a family and you don't necessarily, you didn't prioritize fitness before and now you're trying to go 6 7 days a week, that's a great thing to shoot for. But honestly, I think what that's doing is it's almost setting yourself up for failure, because you know you're almost trying to reprogram your whole life, starting from one day, like from day
mm-hmm.
one. And I think that's the most apparent example would be like the gym around New Year's. Like, you go to the gym and obviously the gym doesn't care because they sign up whoever and whenever, but everyone wants to sign up for the gym because this is their year. They want to try and get back into it. But they come in, and their expectation is, I'm going to be here every single day for an hour, 2 hours a day, when in reality, that may not necessarily be needed, especially if they weren't going beforehand. you know Starting off at 2 days, 3 days, and then progressively going up over time. I think that's the better route to take, because I'm a pretty strong believer in doing the not the least amount of work, but making the smallest changes in order to achieve results. So that way, it doesn't like burn you out, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
If you weren't going to the gym 7 days before, I don't think that starting out going 7 days a week is the best way to go. You
mm,
know, Starting to create that more so habit change instead is probably what I would shoot for. Is being more realistic, saying, I'm glad you want to shoot for 7 days a week, but saying, what, let's start at 2, start at 3, and then that's a lot harder of a goal to break. you
yeah,
know there's less room for error, I would say. And you don't necessarily want to exhaust all of your resources in terms of like tools that you can use in order to make whatever change you're trying to do, whether it's lose weight, build muscle, whatever, right? If you're trying to lose weight, can you change your diet, improve your resistance training, improve your cardio training, improve like the frequency in which you do all of those? Yeah, you can, for sure. And even supplements, if you want to add that in there too. If you do all of those from day one, your body will adapt to all of them at like the same time almost. So you won't have a lot of room to adjust things later on when you're like kind of midway through your progress, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if I can just do one of those things, get progress, and then hit kind of a
No.
plateau, then you can add another thing onto that later to keep improving your progress over time,
Yeah.
as opposed to doing them all at once.
I think you'll agree with me when I say it's a lifestyle change. It's not gonna, I think a lot come New Year's, there's gonna be a lot of like TikToks, videos, even posts saying follow this 4-week diet and you're guaranteed to lose X amount of pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, like what, some of those are pretty effective, but there's a reason why they're effective. You're gonna be hungry all the time. You're not even gonna be probably meeting the amount of like protein your goals really. It's not gonna be a healthy um, amount of weight you're gonna be losing. It is possible. I'm not saying those are wrong. It is
Mm-hmm.
possible, but are they healthy? Are they right? Are you gonna want to maintain that strict diet for?
Yeah, even sustainable, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's what one person has to look at is that this is a lifestyle change. You're changing everything you've done for however many years before that you haven't done before. You're gonna everything's gonna be new to you, and you want to make sure that you understand that it's gonna be a long-term goal. This
Yeah.
and you may not reach this goal by the end of 2021. It may be a few years when you're like, damn, I finally I finally look or feel where I reached what I wanted. I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I think, and what people need to understand too is that they can change what their goal is midway through their
Hmm.
journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a goal to lose, let's say 30 pounds at the start of the year, but by the end of the year, you lost, 15, maybe midway through, you changed your goal from primarily losing fat loss to, gaining some strength. So that way you are working more on functional ability, being able to do things like carry in your groceries from the car, or, be able to like have a day at, like a theme park or something like that, being able to like you can always shift your focus regardless of what your initial resolution is. And that's
Yeah.
okay. You can change your mind, and there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think that's really good. I think one thing I want to talk about is like the third most commonly broken resolution you mentioned is drinking less.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I think about drinking less, I think about like, socially going out, having fun. Um, I think one thing,
Binge drinking kind of.
binge drinking, or going out. Let's say there's some sort of party or function going on this weekend, and you want to attend, but you're also doing your diet. Um, I think one good thing to realize is that there has to be a happy medium. You can't just say no, not doing this at all. Never,
Yeah.
I can't attend your party, or I can't attend this function. And then if I do, I'm not. It just has to be like where you're okay with this. Let's say you ate really well, you worked out, you met all your goals for the week, but then on Saturday night you want to do something fun. By all means, I think you should. You know, you should have fun with this. You should be happy with what you're doing. I think that's kind of goes back to the first topic I mentioned, being consistent and having a great relationship with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think those things are good refreshers as well, like doing one day or one meal of something bad isn't actually that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like mentally, it'll be better for you, and that'll be more beneficial for the long run, as opposed to staying strict all the way like through start to finish. Um, because again, you're just going to be burnt out by the end of it. You're not going to have a good relationship, which I know you keep mentioning, and I think that's completely true for that case. And I think you're not actually establishing a like a lifestyle change, like what we keep mentioning as well, because that's the more important fact. The short term goal is lose X amount of weight, or um, whatever your goal is, but you have to understand at some point that it's for the long term, not, it's I'm losing 30 pounds for my Cancun vacation, like, yeah, that may be cool, but you gotta, it's doing it for your overall health and, trying to improve your quality of life even. So,
yeah, and I think one cool thing is that some people don't realize sometimes cheat meals are really good for you, really good for your diet. And maybe that's a topic we talk about some other time, but it could be really beneficial for you. Cool. So I think I think that covers that. I mean, you want to mention maybe some of your 2021 plans? What are some of your goals?
Yeah, I think before I jump into that real quick, I just kind of want to summarize and like make it a little bit more clear what we're saying that you can do to be more successful with your resolutions. It's just, don't be too hard on yourself. 1, 2, make small changes, not big ones, at least not right from the start, because those will be harder to, keep, and they'll be a little bit more drastic. And yeah, I mean, it's okay to switch what you're trying to do midway through, because you realize that maybe your initial resolution wasn't right for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys need to keep that in mind, and that'll help with being more successful and trying to do what it is that your resolution is trying to achieve, I would say.
I think your point number 3 should be like, have fun with it.
Yeah, for sure.
You should enjoy what you're doing. It shouldn't be miserable. And if it is miserable, you should reevaluate what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
But yeah, I think just for fun, I think I know my New Year's resolution is not directly about like my personal like fitness or nutrition goals. It's more so about expanding my knowledge of fitness, of nutrition, so that way, it helps me in my personal goals when I'm trying to live them out. But I think it's best for the podcast, for everyone that's listening, to for me to do that as well, because if I'm just like talking up here without expanding any knowledge, it's not really going to do anyone any good for very long, at least. So
yeah, I think for me it's about the same thing, but it's also, I guess, kind of being disciplined and consistent with with what I'm preaching. If I'm saying, I gotta have fun with it, I gotta remind myself, it shouldn't always be like going 110 miles per hour with this, cut, or, if I'm bulking or if I'm trying to build strength, being consistent with it, taking my time, knowing that it's going to be a long-term thing, not a 30 days, I'm gonna look like that, because it's, that's not how it works. But I also think for this podcast, being consistent with the amount of product material we're releasing out there, things we're talking about, topics, staying consistent with this. I think it's really good for, I mean, like we said in our intro video, you and I do this, we would have done this regardless if we had a podcast. But I think we just wanted to share this information. I think it'd be fun to, look at new things that we not necessarily don't know a thing about, but I think it'd be fun to be like, hey, honestly, I didn't know about this product, but here's what my take on it after doing some research.
Dive a little deeper.
I think that'd be a fun thing to tackle, because at a certain point you get to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. That was end of episode 1. Any closing comments, Jake?
No. I mean, I'll just reiterate, thank you guys for listening. This is technically episode 1. We have more coming for sure. Still more ideas, still more topics that we want to cover. But we thought that this one would be the best one to kind of put out first, since it would be pretty relevant. So, thank you guys for listening or watching, depending on where you're seeing this. Be sure to follow us on Instagram again at bodycomprx. That's where you can reach us. That's where a lot of our content will be posted. It's the easiest to get a hold of us there. So that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you so much, guys. Please make sure to leave us any comments, any ideas for future videos. It's been great.
Yes, please. See you guys
All right,
later.
peace out.